two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another day, another week of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sgt McClusky. What's going on, bro?
I hear crickets. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's
here.
here.
When the show started, I hear crickets.
I don't think anyone's here.
I'm pretty sure everyone is paying $30 for that DLC so they can play the game right now.
Yeah, right now everybody is hitting the A button rapidly as possible. Right now, everyone on planet Earth can now play Starfield right now. Okay, right now. So, Generation X Gaming, weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming. Sarge, always joining me on Thursday nights. You can listen to us live 8 p.m. Eastern. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and you can also watch us over on Spotify as well. On today's show, Sarge, we're going to be talking CD Projekt Red reveals how many devs are working next on the mainland Witcher game. We're going to talk about Zack Snyder and Gears of War. We're going to talk about Baldur's Gate 3. Director gives up a potential Xbox release window. We're going to talk about the critics. Let's just say we're going to talk about Starfield, right? Starfield now just launched as we speak, okay? And we're going to talk a lot of things about Starfield. We're also going to talk about Call of Duty. Call of Duty has a new AI chat moderator that can tell hate speech from friendly banter. We're going to talk about the price hike for PlayStation Plus price increase. We're going to talk about Immortals of Avium. We're going to talk about RoboCop, Rogue City. We're going to talk about Indiana Jones. We're going to talk about Rockstar. And that will do it for the show. It might be a shorter show because we're jumping into Starfield ourselves after this. So after the show, I'm going to be jumping into Starfield and starting the main game and then creating my character. And then we're going to go sightseeing. We're going to just experience what everything is a Starfield. Not going to try to ruin anyone's story. We're not going to jump into the main story or anything like that. We're literally just going to check out what it is, right? And see what it is. Is Starfield really live right now? Yes, D-Money, right now. 8 p.m. If you have Game Pass and you paid $31, you could upgrade for the early access for 5 days. You get a couple of skins and you get the DLC that comes out, meaning you don't pay for the main game, but you're just paying for the DLC and they give you 5-day early access. Or if you bought the $100 version of the game, you can play right now as well on Xbox, PC, and whatnot. So, what's going on, chat? Appreciate you guys showing up. Ladies and gents, appreciate you very much. All right, Sarge, let's, what have we been playing?
No, I'm waiting for the
Yes.
For the slide.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the slide.
All right, Sarge, another week. What have you been playing?
Not much, honestly. The two games that I play on a weekly basis.
Real quick. Every week I ask you the same question, and every week you're like, it's always not much.
Not much.
It's always not much. Not much.
Not
363 episodes.
Right now.
Not much.
We're in a game lull.
We are.
I focus on a couple games.
We're in a news lull.
Right? And so now this game's coming out, and next week when you ask me, you'll know the answer. Right?
Hey, what are you playing for the rest of the year, Sarge? Starfield. All right.
I play Hell Let Loose on Sunday nights. I play Battlefield 5 on Wednesday nights. And then sporadically throughout the week, depending on what I feel like, I play some other things that I've been playing.
Right.
Like Division 2. I'm still working on Baldur's Gate 2 to try to finish it before I do Baldur's Gate 3. What was the other game I was playing? Oh, Surviving Mars. I play that from time to time.
Did you try
the really hard, I guess, survival game.
I know you're. Did you know on Game Pass right now? Not that it matters because Starfield's out now, but they did release Civilization. Was it 4 on console? No, Age of Empire. Sorry, Age of Empire 4, and they've also released the new game called Is it Humanity or Humankind? I forget what it's called. Both games that you would like because you like those type of games.
I mean, there's certain for me it's hit and misses now for games. Like when I was playing Battlefield 5, I'm thinking, oh god, see Battlefield 5, how's this gonna work out? But the guys that I play with, there's 32 people aside, right? And 25 of them are us. So like we were playing the it wasn't the story missions, it was the breakthrough missions, right? So there's one breakthrough mission where the Germans start on one side of this giant like field, rolling hills.
Right.
And they start with like a bunch of vehicles, and the British have like this farmhouse, and in front of the farmhouse there's like 5 AT guns, two AA guns. They have a couple light tanks, right? So I'm watching this. I haven't played this. I haven't played Breakthrough with the team, and I'm looking around. I'm going, wait a minute, I recognize this. This is basically, oh, there goes my camera. This is basically the Battle for Hoth, is what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
All our guys are in the trench line, and we're all firing the AT guns at the Tiger tanks that are coming, right? They got guys falling from the sky, the planes are flying over. Like the Battlefield moments that you remember, right? That's the kind of game that we were playing. So to me, it's fun because I'm playing with a team. If you're playing by yourself, it's basically Call of Duty with vehicles. It's and nobody's talking. I've been in squads before, full squads. I see the microphones are lit. They have mics, and I'm talking. Nobody's answering. No one's talking back. And I'm like, so that's how you guys play, huh? We just gonna play like this? All right.
Right.
So I'm running around. Like they get mad when you're squad leader. Like I don't control that I'm squad lead, right? Like I'm in a squad, and because people leave and come back in and leave and come back in, like if enough people leave, that you're the only guy left, and you're a squad lead. And then when people join up, and because I'm not buying the vehicles, I'm too busy doing what I'm doing. I don't care. I don't want to be squad lead. So then in the game, it happened like it did before. Like you ask for an order. And if your squad lead doesn't answer you when you ask for an order so many times, then that guy becomes squad leader.
Right.
Like ipso facto. Like, hey, give me an order. Hey, give me an order. Hey, give me an order. And I ignore him.
Yeah, and automatically
like,
takes
no,
over.
He's in charge. I'm fine with that.
Real quick, Lurker, the dates for that are I have to record Starfield, so it's literally going to take me a while because I have to capture the footage. And then I have to edit the footage, and then I'll upload it. So it might be a week or two before it comes out. So go ahead, Sarge. Continue. What else have you been playing?
That's it. I mean, those are the two things. The two main games are the first-person shooters. Wednesday nights, Sunday nights, and then I sprinkle in some other stuff during the week. Now, Starfield comes out. I can't break up the rhythm of Wednesdays and Sundays. Now my sprinkling has to be Starfield.
Oh right, yeah, because it's gonna be hard to judge. Or juggle. I think what's going to happen, Sarge, you're going to get kicked out of your. You're going to get kicked out of your. You're going to get kicked out of the clan because you're going to be like, how come you haven't shown up? I was in space. I don't
know. I don't know about that. I think that I like the camaraderie of the people playing on the team. Than I do. Like those are my two kind of like go-to things. Great team play, and then like leave me the F alone. I'm off in the little world someplace. Like those. I'm good.
Real quick, Travis. The reason that we're not doing the show tomorrow is that Lono is covering Starfield. It would be idiotic. It would be idiotic for a person that streams video games and talks about video games not to be playing the biggest game, at least within the next 24 hours, not playing. So we usually do that. It's not just because of Starfield. Like when Call of Duty came out and Diablo came out, we didn't have a show when that Friday.
Why is it 8 o'clock, by the way? Why is it 8 o'clock at night?
They wanted to make it for everybody across the board. So there's a couple weird time slots around the world, but they made it for 8 o'clock for everybody. So even people, because of New Zealand, basically, because they're in 14 hours.
Because of New Zealand.
Yeah, because New Zealand was getting it early, and they didn't want to like that come out and then people leak stuff and everything. So they just said everyone get the exact same time, which doesn't really matter because they had streamers playing it for 8 hours before everybody else. So it's kind of pointless at that point.
Yeah, but they couldn't talk about it yet.
No, noon
They were
is
just-
when everyone could talk about it.
They were just waiting. They were just waiting to hit the load
Yeah,
button. onto
everybody was
YouTube.
sweating. They're like, right? They were just, yeah, because we got a slew of reviews and stuff. All right, so this week I've been playing. I went back to Fallout 76 again this week. On Monday I played Fallout 76. I like it. I mean, it's. I was trying to get back into the Bethesda mood. You know what I mean? Last week we went back to Fallout 76. I was like, all right, what's the closest thing? And then from Fallout 76, just me and Dupless played again, did some more side missions and whatnot. And then from playing Fallout 76, Tuesday and Wednesday, I played some more No Man's Sky, which we haven't touched in forever. So we went back to No Man's Sky because, well, I also wanted to get into the mood for space. So I played Fallout 76 for Bethesda. I played No Man's Sky for the space feeling. And look, there's going to be a lot of comparisons to No Man's Sky. So I wanted to make sure that I went into No Man's Sky and I got situated with the inventory, the way you fly the ships, the mission-based type of stuff. They've improved that game tremendously, by the way. This update is massive. I haven't even touched it yet. It's the biggest update they've done since, I believe, I forget what the other one was called, like 2 years ago. 2 years ago was the biggest update they've done.
But why are they putting out that update right when they're huge games coming out?
I
Like,
mean,
why would you do that?
They want to compete. I'll tell you what, I've said this the other day. I think Star Citizen and No Man's Sky and any other space game that's out right now is going to get an influx. Well, no, it's going to get an influx of people coming in because there's people that if they can't play Starfield, they're going to be like,
I play in space.
I want to play a space thing. It is. That's just what happens. Like if you see a superhero movie, you want to play superhero games, right? It's that same type of stuff. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to have an effect across the board, and I think people that can't play, meaning they're PlayStation players that don't have an Xbox, are like, hey, you know what? I'll just play No Man's Sky, which is a really good alternative. I mean, it's not an RPG, but it's so good, man. I got in some space pirate battles yesterday and this afternoon I was playing. So last night I failed. I tried to get to, I didn't want to fight the pirates because I was trying to focus on doing the missions. And then, so I failed by the time I engaged with it. But now you're doing like, you fight these big frigates, pirate frigates. Okay. They're shooting rockets, missiles at the civilian ships, and you have to shoot them out of the sky. Okay.
This sounds like an X-Wing versus TIE Fighter mission.
It is, right? So then there's NPC ships that are fighting the bad guys, and then there's bad guys NPC ships flying. Then there's big, massive laser guns firing all over the ship. So you have to kill the laser guns, kill the missiles. Then there's like a trench run that you do on these ships, right? And you have to blow up the ships, and then you can blow up the entire pirate frigate. I was like, man, this is pretty good. All right. So it was a lot of fun. I got a cool new looking ship, but that's an old ship because I haven't played in a while. I got this new sail ship. It's very animated. The original ships from No Man's Sky are very like blocky, box, nothing moves. Then they added the alien looking ships a couple years ago where they were like living ships. And then now they have these solar powered like wind sail ships. And then they added these, the best way I can describe it is like, it almost reminds me of like Battlestar Galactica ships now that they've added. So they've done a really good job with this type of stuff inside the game.
Which Battlestar Galactica?
It just reminds me of Battlestar Galactica because it has this red line that moves like Kit from Knight Rider.
The Cylons.
Yeah,
the Cylon ships.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it reminds me of that. So No Man's Sky, man, they keep upping it and upping it. And I believe there's another update. He already teased another update that's coming out soon. So, you know, Hello Games and Sean Murray are just pumping stuff out with that game.
I mean, they're having fun with it. It's their baby, right? They got paid. They're happy. They don't have anything to worry about. Now they can just continue working, right? And for God's sakes, guys, make a DLC and sell it to somebody. Right? I understand. You're doing like a lot of work. You got money up front. You did well in selling it. But now is the time to like actually make a piece of content and sell it to the public, right? Keep your momentum going and actually sell something to somebody instead of trying to put out every damn update possible for free. You could charge. It's okay. Everybody's accepted your apology. We know it wasn't your fault. We know you were forced to release it. We know.
Yeah,
we know how it works.
They don't have to charge. They should. I think at this point, they should charge, but they don't. They're not going to.
Well, they can't not charge forever.
They've done.
They got to charge for something.
No, they can. I read an article on Reddit. People did some research. They made so much money off the initial release of No Man's Sky when it was in bad shape that they can give free content for 16 years total. Okay.
Come on, bro.
I'm just saying.
So, not everybody. One of them bought a Bugatti. Okay, all I'm saying
There's
is
only
the
14. There's only 14 people.
And I'm telling you, somebody went out and bought a Bugatti.
Oh,
I'm
for
telling
sure, for sure.
All right, not everybody's working to put out free content for the last 10 years, for the last 7 years. I'm telling you, somebody bought the sports car and said thanks.
Yeah. So they could put out free content for like another 6 years or something like that. I think it's like 7 years because it's been out for 7. Yeah, it's like total 6. So for another 12 years, they could do it, right? They can do it. All right. So that's what I've been playing. I've been playing. I got lots of stuff doing. I'm playing Legend Bowl still because I'm making episodes for that, and third episode went up yesterday. I'm making content now for Starfield. I'm making content for the news stories that we do.
I saw something about the football game. You were doing some kind of thing for the football game.
Yeah, Legend Bowl.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have three episodes of up that. It's a fun game, man. Like, it's amazing the games I play, right? I go from like Snow Runners to Legend Bowl to No Man's Sky to Fallout 76 to Starfield.
There won't be a 4th episode of Legend Bowl.
Oh no, there is. It's already recorded.
Come on.
It's already
okay. There won't be an episode 5.
Nope, there is. It's already recorded.
Come on. Well, if it's not recorded, you ain't getting another one.
No, it's easy to make those episodes. So, yeah. So those are recorded and they'll go up. But my main focus right now is going to be Starfield. So let's go to top stories. All right. First story I want to talk about, Sarge, is hold on. We're missing the display here. There it is. CD Projekt Red reveals how many devs are working on the next mainline Witcher game. Okay, Witcher was a huge success back in the day. The studio behind the popular Witcher saga lets fans in on just how many developers are working on the series' upcoming installment. Okay, so considered by many gamers to be one of the most enjoyable RPGs of all time, Witcher 3 has not only received praise from the critics, but it's also proven the remarkable commercial success of CD Projekt Red, as Witcher 3 has managed to sell more than 50 million units since its release. That's like Skyrim level stuff, you know what I mean? So CD Projekt Red is now looking to capitalize on the success of recreating the fascinating magic of Witcher universe in another thrilling action-packed game trilogy, which will begin with the much-anticipated launch of Polaris. Now, as part of the company's last quarterly financial results, CD Projekt Red has announced that the Polaris development team is currently made up of a team of 260 people at the moment, and the company is dedicating significant efforts to developing a highly anticipated Phantom Liberty expansion, which will bring significant changes to Cyberpunk 2077. That being said, the CEO and CD Projekt Red has also promised after the Phantom Liberty release that significant portions of the developers currently working on Cyberpunk expansions will be transferred to Polaris. So it's encouraging to know that CD Projekt Red has managed to assemble such a large, committed development team for the next mainline Witcher game. For comparison, the size of the much-acclaimed Witcher 3 development team closed at 240 people, and the studio chose to assemble an even larger crew for Polaris, demonstrates the desire to not only match the standards of the predecessor, but even extend them. Or exceed them, sorry. The success of the game is not only dependent on the size of the development team, but the bigger team can bring more diverse experience to the table. Now, obviously, this game is going to take a while. We're not seeing Polaris but they have 260, which is 20 more people than the actual game that they made for Witcher 3. So this sounds good, right? Now, hopefully, Sarge, at least in my opinion, is that CD Projekt Red learns from their mistakes because they had all this goodwill. They had so much goodwill going into CD Projekt Red, and not everyone hated them, but their stock price tanked for 2 years. Basically, they were I don't want to say struggling, but they hurt. They hurt themselves with the way they launched CD Projekt Red, or I'm sorry, Cyberpunk 2077, right? So now that they lost, because I always say the video game industry is just like the movie industry. Like if you get hired on one job to the next, they're like, what did you work on? They don't care what your resume said from 20 years ago. They want to know, what have you done lately? Okay? And they ask you what your last job was. So if you worked on like a reality show or you worked on something, it'll be like, they'll go with someone else, right? Because they want someone with the same type of experience. So in the development world, they're gonna bring in people that know what the hell they're doing, and it sounds like they have a lot of good developers there, right? 260, they're up in their developer staff, but now CD Projekt Red, just shut up and work on the game, and don't come out and make fun of other people and say, we won't release a broken game, and then release a broken game, because you literally shat all over yourself from having all this goodwill from Witcher 3. So I hope that CD Projekt Red actually learns from their mistakes, and they come back out with a brand new, phenomenal game that we could all look at and go, holy shit, they've outdone themselves this time. And we don't wait 2 years after the game comes out. You know what I'm saying?
If you have a good marketing department, you can do whatever you want. That's already been proven. This is the issue that we discuss on a monthly, weekly, daily basis, is that a AAA studio can spit in your face. You will buy the pre-order. You will get it day one. You won't ask for a refund, and you don't care if it's broken.
Right.
So why do they have to fix it? It doesn't matter. If anything happened from the Cyberpunk release, it showed that even though the game was a trash fire, the gamers don't care.
They made all their money back before it launched.
The quality control and what you allow game companies to do is dictated by the consumer. If the consumer doesn't care, then the company doesn't have to care, because they have your money.
Right.
This discussion, we've already said it, I've said it in the past. This discussion ends because the consumers are the ones in charge. If you want to buy a crappy game, then I don't want to hear you complain about a crappy game.
Broken game. Don't say crappy game. A broken game at launch. A broken game at launch.
A broken game is crappy. So whatever.
No, I get it.
If you buy the garbage game, then I don't want to hear about it. I don't care. Right? You're part of the problem. If you don't care about quality,
right?
I'm hoping that even though it's just entertainment, it's just for some fun, because my life sucks and I need to buy a $70 piece of entertainment to take me out of my shitty life. I'm hoping that you don't treat the rest of your life like that.
Right.
You're willing to sacrifice for this one little thing. Just if I have my own little thing, everything else would be fine. If that's the way you treat everything, I feel sorry for you.
Well, I'll tell you, they made all their money back. They had 8 million copies sold pre-order, which made all their money back, and then the game launched and it was broke. This is why we say, when we say don't buy a broken game and stuff like that, we on this podcast, we always talk about don't pre-order a game. Now, you can do what you want with your money, and people will always pre-order a game, but we don't want to hear from the people that pre-order a game and then bitch about the game being broke, unfinished, buggy, a mess, or a crap game. You know
all the solutions to your problems are currently in the world.
Yeah.
You can wait for reviews.
Yeah.
You don't got to buy day one.
That's the point.
The game's not going anywhere. Like, defend day one for me. Defend it. You can't, because the game does not go anywhere. They're not going to run out of copies. Everything's digital. So I waited 5 years for a game, and now I can't wait 5 years and 3 weeks because I got to have it. So if your impulse, if you can't get control of your impulses and you're ready to throw money, then you don't get to bitch. That's it. You don't get to bitch.
Enbu, correct. No Man's Sky, when it came out, was incomplete. It was a unfinished game when it launched.
Yeah.
An unfinished game when it launched. That's right. Lurker says, I don't pre-order games. I let 30 pre-order and wait to see. Most of the time, I don't ever pre-order. I never pre-order, right? I got a code for Starfield, and when games come out, I usually get it the day of, right? The day of the games, or I get a code. And obviously, because I'm a streamer, I'm trying to help people out there to look at a game, see it, and ask questions by playing it and see if it's something that they like, right? So I try to help people out as much as possible.
I gotta be honest, I don't even trust you, bro. I'll wait for a couple other reviews to come out.
I don't trust me either. Yeah, I don't trust me either.
You think I'm waiting for your review for a game before I buy it?
I don't review. I don't review. That's the difference between me and a reviewer. I play the game live, and people ask me people ask me questions.
Speaking of reviews,
yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Not yet. I play the game live, and people ask questions and what I think about it and stuff like that. I don't go, well, this is this and this is, because I don't want to give reviews. And if I did give a review, I wouldn't do a number scale review. Okay, and I also break it down in a way where, like, how's the music, how's the gameplay, how's the controls, I would break it down and break it down. Right. So if you're a person that likes story, I would tell you what the story is, and if you like the gunplay, I would tell you how the gunplay is. All right, next story I want to talk about. Zack Snyder gets the approval to make Gears of War movie under one condition. I thought this. Did you see this interview? It was the most awkward interview. First of all, let's just call it how I see it. Zack Snyder was on the couch for an interview because he was talking about Rebel Moon. And fuck you, Zack Snyder and Rebel Moon, because every time I showed a clip, you guys took you claimed it. You claimed it. 15 seconds, and you claimed my whole video of a 3-hour goddamn thing. So that's my bitching moment there for a second. Okay. So I will not be covering Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon anytime soon. Okay. Or show a trailer or anything. Okay. But anyway, while he was sitting on the couch, they asked him at the last second, they're like, what game would you like to make? And he's like, looks at his wife. His wife's like, well, what do you like? And they're like, they didn't know what to do. Well, they're all good, right? There's just too many to pick from. Yeah, you're gamers, right? And then he's like, Gears of War. Okay.
All he's got to say is, I'm not a gamer. I make movies.
Yeah. So,
but if the question was, which one of my movies would you like to see as a video game, then you could pick one of the movies that you like and then relate it to a game.
Well, the funny part was he's like, Gears of War. Yeah, he just like thought of one in his head. They probably off stage going, Gears, say Gears, right? Like so let's read this, right? So fans have unfortunately been met with silence of the coalition over the past 2 to 3 months since Gears of War 6 NVIDIA graphics card leak, but it doesn't mean that something isn't brewing behind the scenes. So Snyder revealed the Rebel Moon trailer, Gamescom, during the event. He and his wife, producer Deborah Snyder, were interviewed by IGN, but as the upcoming Netflix film of IGN asked the video game franchise that he would like to bring to the big screen, and even the opportunity after a brief pause. It wasn't brief. It was uncomfortable. It was an uncomfortable pause.
Leave it to IGN. They're professionals.
Yeah, it was an awkward pause. Snyder said Gears of War and Halo, stating that discussions about the franchise were already happening within his circles. Blasinski also responded on X saying he approved, but not the condition that but on the condition that Dave Bautista plays Marcus. Now, Dave Bautista has been out there for years saying, I want to play Gears. Like, I want to play Marcus Phoenix, right? And I think
he would fit.
Yeah.
He would fit.
Yeah, I think they should give it to him.
Who else can we get who's ripped, who could be in Gears? All you gotta do is go to the WWE.
Well, you know who they're getting,
go to
right?
WWE and get him.
It'll be Batiste, and it'll be like The Rock, and it'll be someone else. That's what they'll do.
Oh, The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock's he's the other guy. The guy that goes woo like that's The Rock. That's The Rock's guy, right?
Yeah.
I forget what's his name. I think he died in one of the Gears though. I don't think he made it to like the 4th or 5th one.
That was
he was in the original.
That was Coltrane.
Coltrane.
And that he didn't die. The other oh god, I forget his name. What was the other guy's name? Oh, Brock Lesnar should be there too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it says Gears of War movie was announced.
All it would be is like it'd be giant guys ripped with machine guns. It'd be like the more
Predator.
modern day version of the Expendable.
No, it'd be like the Predator, right? Dom. Thank you, Travis. Yeah, that's who the Rock could play, like Dom. All right, so Gears of War movie. Oh no, you know who could play Dom? What's that actor's name?
And we could bring Gina Carano in it. No problem. We could bring Gina Carano in there. She'd fit right in.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget. No, I'm trying to think of the actor who could play. I forget his actor's name. Vin Rames could be in. Oh wait, did Vin Rames die recently?
Is Vin Rames die?
Oh,
I don't remember.
We're going down a black hole here now. I don't know. I think he's still alive. I'm trying to think of somebody. I'll think of him later. So
no, wait. Vin Rames, I think, died.
Did he? Right? I thought recently. Right? He passed away.
Yeah.
Years ago? No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. Well, Travis says yes. This is how messed up it is.
All right, hold on.
People in the chat don't know.
Someone look it up real fast and correct me.
Well, look,
I don't like saying people are dead and then I thought he died. Vin Rames.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Oh no. He didn't die because he was just in Mission Impossible. Michael Clark Duncan. That's who I was thinking of. Big Mo. Yeah,
yes.
That's who I was thinking of. Yeah, that's right. He was just in Mission Impossible. Yeah. Who played Kingpin in Daredevil? Oh. That would be was that the guy? I forget. We're going off a tangent here. Let's get back on track. right? Yeah, Michael Clark Duncan died 7 years ago. That's who I was thinking of Vin Rames. But then I just saw Mission Impossible and he was in it. So Gears of War movie was announced by Netflix. Snyder's current place to work with the Rebel Moon and Army of Dead franchise. Bautista also certainly looks part of Marcus and expressed interest in playing the character before, and he's already had a working relationship with Snyder from Army of the Dead. So it could be that the stars would one day align for Gears of War movie under Snyder. What do you think about, well, one, Zack Snyder? I don't know if I like Snyder's stuff. I don't. Like, I like Justice League.
You don't have to change the video game story to fit a normal story. The story is good enough. Just put it into Hollywood format. You don't have to keep changing everything in order to make a video game movie. Make a movie. Halo by itself, Halo 1 as a movie could work. The story fits perfectly.
Well, they already screwed up Halo.
You can make it a 2-part movie and be done with it. But they constantly have to change things. They have to say it's got to be this, your DEI listing, and whatever else you got to do for these movies now. Like, just let the movie be. It's written already. You want to make some. I heard people want to make money. I heard studios were in trouble.
You heard people want to make money?
Yeah, I heard that studios are trying to make money and they can't because they keep fucking up every movie that they make.
Dude, it's a shame. We saw Gran Turismo. How did you like Gran Turismo? I never really asked you. Did you like the movie when we saw it?
Which one?
Gran Turismo that we just saw when you were up here.
Yeah, it's Rocky with cars.
Yeah, I thought it was great, and it's bombing. It's bombing at the box office, which is sad.
It's bombing because it's a video game movie.
Yeah, well, a lot of the reviews for that, talking about reviews, they say, well, it seems too commercially for PlayStation. I'm like, you do know that it's a racing car game based on it's a racing car based in real life of a video game. You see what I'm saying? Like
made by Sony.
Made by Sony PlayStation, right?
Yeah, it's called marketing. That's how it works.
Yeah.
If I'm the one that made the game that the movie's about, I'm marketing myself. That's how it works. What reviewer didn't review that?
Yeah, it was just weird for the bad reviews for it. Yeah, no, it is Rocky with cars. It's Rocky with cars. It's Karate Kid with cars. It's this generation's Karate Kid or this generation's.
It's not. But they didn't make it up.
No,
they didn't say, "Hey, let's make a movie about a video game."
No, it's a
true story about a video game.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a true story about a guy playing a video game to become a real professional driver. Right?
It's a true story about the video game that they created a contest for that they got a real driver from. It's real.
Yeah.
It really happened.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
He's still racing. It's real.
Well, again, another movie that's bombing from WB, Blue Beetle, like dead in the water. Like it came out and it was like, help me, and it just like drowned. They squished him like a bug.
I grew up during comic books. Do you think I gave a shit about Blue Beetle?
Well, Blue Beetle came out in what, 2000? I think it came out like 2000, 2001.
It doesn't matter. They're reaching. They're trying to make money off of anything. How do you take the top 12 characters in both DC and Marvel and flush them down the toilet? So now you're not even using backup characters. You're using characters that no one gave a shit back in the 60s. Never mind now. And then you expect them to make any money. What the fuck are you talking about? Who cares about Blue Beetle? Who cares?
All right, next story. We're moving on. Baldur's Gate 3 director gives an update on a potential Xbox release window. So, interview with IGN, Baldur's Gate 3 director Swin Venke claims that the game will be released on Xbox Series XS sometime between September and November. I said October, so I'm pretty close, I guess. I'm in that window of this year. And the PS5 version of the game is scheduled to release on September 6th, and the Xbox iteration will launch at some point after that. Now, Larian Studios teasing a massive Baldur's Gate 3 update. It seems as though that there are plenty of work remaining to keep the team busy through the rest of the year. According to Vecchi, PlayStation 5 version of various PC patches are being prioritized before the team fully switches focus on the Xbox, but adds that the Xbox Series X version was already in good shape last time he looked at it. So, obviously, we already talked about last week, Sarge, about how Phil Spencer changed and got rid of the parody thing. So now Baldur's Gate 3 is coming out this year, in the year that that game will win Game of the Year. So hallelujah for.
They're not getting rid of the parody shit. They're just making an exception for this particular game because they don't want it to be fucked up. That's what it is.
Well, sure. Well, we'll see if if this crumbles, maybe they take it away from other ones as well. And again, we talked about this last week as far as third party, first party, and whatnot. So I think, when do you think it's going to fall, Sarge? Do you think it's going to come out late September? Do you think it comes out in October, or do you think it comes in November? Obviously, it's coming out before the holidays sales of Black Friday go out. So what's your opinion on when it's coming out? What month? For Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, for Xbox.
Thanksgiving. They got to clean it up.
You think it's going to come late, so at the tail end of November?
Thanksgiving, like end of October, beginning of November.
Yeah, all right. So let's go to the next one. Let's see what we got here. Let's talk about, what time is it? 8:35. Let's talk about Call of Duty. Call of Duty new AI chat moderator can tell hate speech from friendly banter. Now, I talked about this by myself this morning in the early chat, Sarge. Let me read one little paragraph down here, okay? One little paragraph that I want to kind of highlight, okay? It says, we also recognize that certain behaviors may be fundamentally different depending on the demographic of the participants, okay? It goes on to say, while the N-word is typically considered a vile slur, many players who identify as black or brown have reclaimed it as to use as a positivity within their communities. Now, while modulated does not detect or identify the ethnicity of the individual speakers, it will listen to the controversial cues to determine how others in the conversation are reacting to the used such term. So, what do you think about that, Sarge?
I don't. I first of all, I don't think it's the job of white guys in suits to dictate what's racial for black people.
Well, it says that
I don't think it's any of their fucking business. I'm pretty sure when it's racism, you call it out when it happens, right? You don't have to have an AI policing me because your feelings are offended in a COD game.
Well, what I find funny though is it says it can't identify, okay, or it can't identify the ethnicity of the individual speaker, so it can't tell
because that by itself would be racist,
right? So if someone's speaking in a certain way, obviously I'm a white guy, I can't sound like that. But there are black people that sound like white people, and white people sound like black people, right? Like stereotypical type of stuff. How is it going to know?
A hell of an impression of a white person,
right? How is it going to know who it is, and if someone uses the N-word in a slur? And so basically, it's not detecting. It says it hears the word and then waits for the "you can't say that," right? Like type of thing, or "ooh," like over the microphone. Because how would you know if the person's okay saying a N-word slur and he's okay in good standing? They would have to know. They would have to know the data of who's in the lobby, the person that said it. They would have to identify your voice, and they would know your credit card number because you're online anyway, right?
You can't police culture. Culture is culture, and people within that culture will take care of their own when the time is right. People will out other people for being that way. You get blackballed. No one wants to talk to you. We take care of our own. The community takes care of people. If someone in your neighborhood is stealing, in the old days, everyone found out who was stealing, and then he's blackballed. Everyone knows about it, and eventually he goes to jail because he gets caught stealing, because that's what he does, right? You can't try to police people who are speaking, right? It doesn't work. First of all, let's go through the list, right? It's not because there are racists out there. It's because there are people out there who believe that I'm allowed to say what I want because there are no consequences.
Right.
If there was consequences to your verbiage, you feel shame, you get outed, people know where you live, people know where you work. All of a sudden, your whole demeanor changes on how you treat somebody else. But for some reason, in the human race, when your anonymity works, I'm allowed to say whatever I want because fuck you, right? But as soon as people know who you are, that entire demeanor changes. So what does that say about an individual? Never mind you're trying to police me, okay? Just the individual by himself. Okay? That problem will be solved over time within the community, right? We don't need a third party trying to dictate how we talk to one another. That's something for us to decide what we accept. And if our feelings are hurt, I'm very sorry that your feelings are hurt, but that doesn't do anything to you.
I have a massive problem with this. One, I don't play Call of Duty anymore anyway, but I said this earlier. Obviously, we know that this records everything we say, right? We know that the devices in your house are recording stuff that you say, because if you say a certain thing or a certain product or certain something, all of a sudden it pops up on your search browser or whatever, right?
That's why I don't have Alexa in the house.
Right. So we know that they're recording, but they don't tell us they're recording us. Most people are not even aware that they are recording us, right?
That's also a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yes.
Because when it's proven that your phone's listening to you without your permission, you can kiss the phone companies goodbye.
Right. So now this is telling you, hey, we're listening. And it started yesterday, and it goes up until November 10th as a test. Okay. I find that, like, because they're doing it, I wouldn't play the game, or I would just go into a private chat, or I would just mute people. You know what I mean? Like, all it takes is just a thumb on a mute button. This is it.
Racism solved.
right. This is the
racism solved. Right there.
Just one.
You don't need to drag in AI and multi-million-dollar apparatuses.
I don't have to have a manual review or anything like that.
Over.
Yeah, it's just one little mute button, and it's good. So this is a slippery slope. I don't think to protect people, they shouldn't get involved, because now an AI is going to racially profile somebody, because it's going to define you if you're black or white or whatever race you are based on the wordage that you're saying, but it's not going to be stereotypical profiling. But it is stereotypically profiling, because it just said in its own words that the black and brown community uses the thing, and they use it as a positivity amongst their communities. So how's the AI going to tell that? Right? And then it gets manually reviewed. So you're paying somebody instead of just, like, I don't know, man. This is just going another above and beyond step of stupidity for the companies. But hey, you got to protect people, right? You got to protect people.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
They're protecting people.
The infringement on personal rights is always followed by, it's for your protection.
Of course.
In case you guys haven't figured it out yet, anytime they tell you it's for your own good or for your own protection, please begin reading between the lines, okay? Because it's never for you. It's always for them. And if you haven't figured it out yet, you probably should read more.
So the next story I want to talk about this is not a big deal. It's just happening again. It's raising the price. Xbox just raised their prices of their streaming service, and now PlayStation's raising theirs yet again. So I correct me if I'm wrong, chat, and again, let me know when the last time they did this. I'm pretty sure they did it last year. I want to say about a year ago, maybe. It's probably a year ago. They raised the price, and then Xbox raised their price, and now PlayStation is raising their price again. It says, here are the new prices for PlayStation Plus 12-month subscription. PlayStation Plus Essential, which is a 12-month subscription, is now $80 US. PlayStation Plus Extra 12 months is $134 US. And PlayStation Plus Premium is 12 months, and it's $160. I want to make it clear, though, that's still cheaper than the levels of an Xbox, right? But Xbox also gets a lot more day and date and a bunch of other stuff as well. So the reason I'm also telling this is they also just put Saints Row. Okay, they just put Saints Row up on the thing. But the funny part is, let me bring this up, because I couldn't bring it up before, because I have to bring it up now. Let's see, submitted stories. This is a what's it called? An email that was sent out. So the company that made Saints Row, Violation, okay, the Violation team has proudly created a world-class entertainment for fans around the globe for 30 years, and we've been driven by passion for our community and always worked to deliver joy, surprise, and delight. This past June, Embracer Group announced that the restructuring program to strengthen Embracer and maintain the positions as a leader in the video game industry. As part of the program, they eventually strategic optional goals and made the difficult decision to close violation effective immediately. To help our team, we're working to provide job assistance to help smooth the transition to a violation family members, and also thank the customers of fans around the world to love and support the years. And you always it's yet another studio being closed by Embracer Group. Okay, and that's because Saints Row sucked. I mean, this
well, you don't know it sucked. It just didn't sell well.
Because it sucked. It came out last October or August, whatever.
I don't.
It's been 1 year.
To me, Saints Row was a fart in the wind. Okay,
it was bad.
Don't remember hearing about it. And if I did smell anything, it went away quickly. I thought it was a dog. I don't even know what it was.
Yeah. So basically, the reason I'm saying this. Go ahead.
It's real basics. If you don't care about your game, then why should I care about your game? Right? If you want to release that type of trash, then obviously your passion isn't really worth a dime.
Well, I saw multiple reviews of this game, and the game was just broke. It was just broke. And then they had an obligation pass, right? They have an obligation because they had DLCs that were coming out, and yet this is yet another game that had an obligation. Okay, an obligation pass. That's what I call it now. Because
and by the way, if you don't really have to try for that obligation pass, just kind of limp it in just to get it over with because no one's playing it now. You care even less about it.
Right. So, Saints Row reboot of Saints Row was supposed to be a big hit, and it bombed. Embracer Group was like, we gotta get rid of someone. Who are we getting rid of? They're like, let's get rid of these guys, and we'll try to play some other places. Look, Embracer now has done it multiple times. Microsoft does it. Sony does it. EA does it. Take-Two does it. All of these companies, they always get rid of studios because they have to, right? They have to. So it's sad. It's another company that's closed down.
Yeah, but you realize that there's not this giant pile of homeless shelters every time a game company goes out of business, right? No. The company just fires everybody, writes it off as a loss. Those people go back into the pool. They get a new loan from new people for a new idea for a game, and then they rebuild a team to make the next game. And so you might not have steady work for 12 months out of the year, but your ass goes in and out of the system because they need developers to make games, right? So if you're not keeping score and the months are ticking by, the next firings happen after games are released. So the next 3 or 4 big releases that are coming out, Starfield, those are the people, we're cutting back, we're letting go, contracts are up. Like, you're going to hear the same speech again, right?
Right.
They don't sell the game and then, get some more people in there. They go, oh no, we sold 12 million copies, but it wasn't enough. Had to fire a bunch of people. Get my yacht ready. Like, it's the same story every year, right? We should probably take a poll and bet to see how many people are fired by January 30th.
Right. So here's Saints Row. It's coming out on PlayStation Plus. Boss, you were asking. So Saints Row is now part of PlayStation Plus. And here's the other dilemma of stuff, right? Now, obviously, games come on Game Pass, and we talk about this in the past about games coming on Game Pass kind of brings down the value of games for certain games, not all
quality.
Games. Oh, quality,
not value.
Quality.
Value goes up.
You're absolutely right.
That's a plus.
It's quality.
Quality
right?
goes down.
Saints Row wasn't a good quality game, and now here you go. It's on the PlayStation service now. Okay. Now I don't know when it's coming to Game Pass. I don't know if it is coming to Game Pass, but they got their money, the extra money. They're like, hey, do you want to put us on your PlayStation Plus? Sony's like, all right, we'll throw you a couple grand. Here. We'll pay for the moving of your staff over to another company. So there it is. So Saints Row is on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 for the PlayStation Plus memberships that went up in price. Another game that's struggling. We don't know the actual numbers on console, but we do know the numbers over on Steam.
Ooh, is it Magic? Is it Magic Destiny?
Yes, it's Magic Destiny.
It's Magic Destiny.
Immortals of Avium. Peaked at 751 Steam users, and despite the huge streamer push, nothing made this game move, right? Okay, didn't make it move. So
you know why though, right?
It had this whole push of streamers playing it, and then after they got paid, no one went back and played it, right? Nobody went back to play it because they were just kind of done with it, right? Now, it could be because of the timing of when it came out, right? I said in my earlier stream this week, I said that Immortals of Aveum maybe just had a bad break. Maybe it's a good game, but maybe it's a game that's more of a cult classic where people don't give it a shot because, hear me out, because games are $70 now, right? It's a brand new IP, and people looked at this and said, I don't want to give $70 for this. I'd rather give $70 to like a Diablo, a Starfield, a Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Like, or Baldur's Gate 3. There's so many games that were coming out. The average person only buys 3 games a year, and maybe, I don't know, it might be less because now it's 70, not 60, okay? So I was saying that Immortals of Aveum might get a shot, okay, if it drops down to like $40, $30. Then people pick it up, they play it and go, wow, this is actually a really good game, and then give it a shot, and then down the road, they might make a sequel for it, right? I don't know what the sales numbers are and stuff like that, but I just feel like I don't think the game got a good fair shot. It didn't interest me. It just looked a little weird. Anbu gave me a what was that game you said the other night, Anbu, when you said that it's almost directly like this other game, and it fell off just the same. And it was a Magic user game where it was first-person Magic user, which is like this. So very interesting.
Yeah, but don't forget, the complete package needs to be had. If you're doing okay, look, let's rewind a little bit, right? When Bungie was coming out with Destiny, the allure, the baiting of people, the promise of story, all the animation things leading up to it, all the talk about it, all the grooming you and telling you what kind of an awesome experience is going to be. We're the makers of Halo. We won't let you down. And so it was a slow buildup. And when Destiny came out, it exploded. Okay, completely and totally exploded. Everybody's in the pool. We're in the pool. Like, you have another game coming out who's trying to be like Destiny, but you have magic instead of guns. And there's only so much population to go around. I'm busy with other things. You want me to start a whole completely new IP right now? Like this massive story? And you didn't advertise for it at all. There's no allure. There's no nothing about it. There's no marketing behind it. No wisdom or something that makes you want to look inside behind the curtain. Like, woo, what kind of game is this? It's just, we made a game about magic users and it's Destiny. How come you guys didn't play it? Like, no one cares. No one cared, right? How many times are you going to try this thing where you pump out a game that's like another game, but you don't get behind it. You're just trying to cash in. That's all you're trying to do is cash in.
I literally said this the other day on Lono's podcast about 3 weeks ago. I made a joke. We were talking about something, and I said, what was that game? I said, Immortals of Aveum. I said, that's correct. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to remember this game, and here we are just a few weeks later, and no one's playing it. No one's playing it because I think it just launched. Krebsy says it launched. It was supposed to launch in June. It got pushed back now. And then it's not doing well. And then Brainchild.
How are you going to come out during this time? Starfield, Spider-Man. Like, how are you coming out with
Baldur's
this?
Gate.
Baldur's Gate. How are you supposed to come out? No marketing, no nothing.
Armor Core 6.
To the wind.
Armor Core 6. Yeah.
Please. You wanted it to. This is how I look at it. At this point,
you wanted it to fail.
Failures, you want it to fail so you can just do the write-off and move on. Yeah. You want it to fail.
Well, it's an EA single-player game. Brainchild,
and we're all gonna cry for EA, right?
The Brainchild said Linkdom Battle Mage was the game. Yeah, so it was almost exactly like that. I didn't even know about that game, and this is falling the same way. I still think that this game could get a cult following. I think people will play this when it goes on sale. They'll go, oh, you know what? This was actually a pretty good game. Sort of like what was that Assassin's Creed like game? It was called Gods and Monsters, but it turned into Immortal Phoenix Rising, right? Immortal Phoenix Rising wasn't a big hit, but a lot of people liked the game. I think it might get you put this on EA Play, you put this on Game Pass, you put this on PlayStation Plus, more people will play it, like it, and go, hey, you know what? This is actually not that bad of a game. They might be able to save it. And because EA is so big, I think they could salvage it in the future to make a sequel to it if it did good, right?
Oh, let's go the other way. What's the game about? What is it?
It's basic. Well, they said it's very generic. It's about a magic user, right? That has to be a part of this society or whatever, and he's trying to earn his stripes, I guess. You know what I mean? Like he's got these new powers. He's trying to figure out what it is, and there's other people with the same type of powers. They got to save the world.
Story. Right, no world, no story, no kind of thing about the character, the background. Just kind of like we made a game like this. That's right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, man. In the big budget world, if you're trying to chase the money, you're going to fail. You just need to make a video game that fits your team's strengths, regardless of what it is. Pick a good price point. It doesn't have to be $70 anymore. Please stop thinking that games need to be $70 in order for people to keep the lights on. Okay.
Right.
We've had complete companies grow into the monsters that they are today, and they are only making $27.50 to $30 on a $50 game. Okay. That's their take from that game because of the middlemen and everything else. Now the whole game is theirs. It's digital, right? Every game doesn't have to be $70. Make a game for your team, sell a game that's fun, and build a reputation. Stop trying to shoot out of the gate and thinking you're going to make the next what? Can't speak. You're going to make the next Destiny. You're going to make the next awesome AAA title. You're just not, right? Start small, build a following, and grow from there.
Travis wants to know why you're calling it Destiny because he says it's offline. Do you want to explain to him why you call it Destiny?
Because that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Same color schemes, same first-person thing,
yeah, it's
same type of thing, abilities.
The same. It's almost the same story. The people that you talk to at the tower inside the place. Yes, it's a single-player game, but it's almost got that same feel.
You're chasing
of Destiny. It has nothing to do with the online aspect of it or whatnot. The next story, we have two more stories, and then we're going to go into the second half of Starfield, right? Talk about Starfield and whatnot. This game actually looked pretty good, Sarge. The next thing I want to talk about, the next story I want to talk about, is RoboCop Rogue City. It's part man, part machine, and delayed till November. It got its second delay. Okay, it was supposed to come out over the summer, and then it got pushed, and then it got pushed yet again. It got pushed from, I think it was supposed to come out in June, and then it got pushed to September, and now it got pushed to November. All right, people that played it, the reviews and stuff, they say it's actually pretty good. There's some, you know what? I'll do some. Let me open this up real fast. No, come on. So we'll have that playing in the background as I talk about it. Right. So RoboCop actually looks pretty decent, right? So one of the complaints is that he moves too slow. Now, obviously, he's RoboCop, right? So a lot of things that people make comments about, you're like, well, if you watch RoboCop, he doesn't run. He just.
So the guy reviewing doesn't know who RoboCop is. Next.
Right.
I mean, this isn't hard, man. Yeah. RoboCop's too slow. You don't know who RoboCop is.
Right.
Next.
So people say there's like little mini games. There's like investigations inside the game. No one's really shown the investigation part of it yet, but they said that it's actually pretty fun. There's like little mini games that you can play to disarm bombs. You have a little special abilities where you like punch someone and it cracks their head open and whatnot. They say the biggest problem is that the gun that he uses is so good, like the pistol, the RoboCop gun, that you could pick up other weapons. But why? Because RoboCop's gun is so good that you could just use the RoboCop gun the entire time, right?
Well, because you cannot fit the square peg into the round hole. You're trying to make a game that belonged being released back in the early O's.
Yeah.
And you're trying to release a game like that in 2023, where every game has got lists of weapons, unlock abilities, all kinds of stuff.
Right.
And you just want to release a first-person shooter that your guy runs around with his left-hand gun and his right-hand gun, and we're going to have a good time. Like, it's not going to work. You're not going to sell gangbusters. You're going to sell what you're going to sell for people who are nostalgia about RoboCop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If they know who RoboCop is and they made the game and you're our RoboCop, then the nostalgia people are going to buy your game. You might make a decent profit and you move on to the next project. But your game is dated. You cannot do this kind of thing and worry about what's going to happen. You have to just say, fuck it. We're going to release the game at $35.99 or $40 and have a good time with it and have a bunch of people buy it, shoot up a bunch of bad guys and enjoy yourself and then move on.
Yeah.
You can't think this way, right? That game is 15 years too late.
I think they
at minimum.
Well, I watched multiple videos of this. It takes place right after RoboCop 2, in between RoboCop 2 and RoboCop 3. They nailed it. I'm looking at this, even the humor,
glad.
Even the humor in the game when they're talking to him, I was like, it's exactly the 80s humor. They got the 80s hair that's on the women and stuff like that. It looks fun. It doesn't look great. It looks like max price $40, right? It looks like a $40 game. Maybe now I guess a $50 game, right? Instead of a $70 game. They also made a Terminator Resistance game. People said that was actually pretty good. I said the next game they should make is probably John Wick or The Matrix, because if this company likes to do those old type of franchises, do a Rambo, do a John Wick, do a Matrix one type of stuff where it's same type of game, just fun, fun.
If you actually spent the time doing a proper close combat system and use the template of the Batman Arkham series and insert John Wick, but with guns, and do the gung fu thing, you would have a hit on your hands
for sure. But that's also more recent. This is from like this.
Well, we're talking. That's what we're talking about, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
You're trying to get the new kids involved. They know who John Wick is. They don't get
they don't know who
knows
RoboCop
is.
Yeah, they don't know who RoboCop is.
Who are you marketing this to? Right.
I would have loved this game. I would have loved this game if I was 12. Yeah. I would have loved this game.
I'm on the tail end. Who else knows RoboCop is going to throw money down for RoboCop? Come on, man. You know what game would also kick ass? Seriously, would kick ass? If they spent as much time with all these sim games, right? And they made a game where you learn how to be a policeman. The real deal. Real deal.
There is one.
You learn how to be a cop.
It's called the Pre-Stink.
Do they?
Yeah, it's coming out.
As you level up, you actually get to do detective stories, and they use real cases. They don't tell you it's real cases. They'll say, "Oh, these cases are made up," but we know they're real cases because nobody's making up all these stories.
Let me show you.
Right? It would be kick-ass. You learn how to be a cop. You understand how the process works. People would just play the game for fun, but actually be learning something.
How do you spell Pre-Stink? Chat or Sarge, how do you spell Precinct?
P-R-E-C-I-N-T or P-R-I P-R-E-C-I-N C-T.
C-T.
Yeah. Yep.
P-R-E. There it is. Thank you. Yeah, let me show you this. This is called the Precinct, and it's an isometric game, right? It reminds me of a Police Quest, King's Quest type of thing. You're a cop. It's a single player. It's only a solo game, but you do cop things. You're running around solving mysteries. You're doing tickets.
You're solving crimes, Mike. You're not Scooby-Doo. You're not solving mysteries. You're not Scooby-Doo. That's a different game. You're solving crimes.
Yeah, solving crimes, busting people, doing tickets, doing car chases. You're doing police stuff, right?
Right. You learn what the process is, right? Some people like that kind of thing. Some people don't. But it's a genre of game that people have. Listen, there was Police Quest back in the day when we were growing up. They had Police Quest.
Yeah, Police Quest, King's Quest. Yeah.
Right, and especially with today's graphics and like what you can do, like, and you could have DLCs for like actual cases, actual crimes. Come on, man.
Yeah, this looks good. This looks good.
It would be interesting. Yes, it looks interesting.
This wasn't even on the. You just brought it up, and a couple weeks ago I was asking about it, and someone brought it up, and it's like, I remember there's a game like that. Yeah, it's coming out.
I'm glad it exists.
All right, the last thing, and then we go over to Starfield.
RoboCop's too slow.
Kyle's, can I get a Monster member for 5 months? Thank you much. He says, you hype for Starfield? Oh, and hi. Appreciate you.
I mean, I got one goosebump right about here. But otherwise than that,
I'm not excited yet until I turn on the game.
I got to be honest with you, bro. Since this morning's podcast that you did, I tried looking for some stuff after 12:30, and I realized that, in all honesty, I can't look at anything related to Starfield because everybody's trying to ruin it.
Yeah, they're trying to spoil
Everybody's trying to go here, best ship, go here for this quest, gotta do this quest, I'm like, I just want to sit down in a dark room with my headset on and just get into the game and not know anything. Does anyone not like to do that shit anymore? Do people actually want to put a game in and know exactly the route to take for the best thing? Like, that's how you play a game? I'm like, your life's going to suck, bro.
Remember,
like,
Sarge.
Your actual life's going to suck. If you think that's the way you got to live, like, you're going to suck.
You got to remember, like, PlayStation's patenting a thing where the game, it plays the game for you. Remember that.
I'm not interested. I'm not interested.
So Here, this is a quick story.
I want to play the game.
Here's
like
a quick,
they spent like 8 years on it. I want to play the game.
right. So here's a quick story because Bethesda is making an Indiana Jones game, and Indiana Jones Xbox is midway through development. So we're talking another year, another 2 years.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls coming up.
So, unfortunately, with Bethesda's current untitled Indiana Jones game midway through development, it's unlikely it'll be at least a year or two before release. Xbox fans hoping to play something in the meantime are in luck. There's a multiple Indiana Jones games available on Xbox platforms: Lego Indiana Jones, the original Adventure, and Lego Indiana Jones 2, the Adventure continues on both playable through backwards compatibility on Xbox Series X, Series S, and 2 games originally released on Xbox 360, and currently available on download Microsoft Store. And the games can also be played the original discs on the Xbox Series X. Right. Again, I think we brought this up a couple weeks ago, Sarge, and we'll just say it again, just for people that didn't see the episode. But what are you hoping for an Indiana Jones game is? Like, what type of game do you want it to be? I mean, obviously we have Uncharted and Tomb Raider out there.
This is right, but that's what I'm saying. This is not hard in today's world. What I've seen that can be done between Tomb Raider, Alan Wake, like all these adventure type games, like. You can mix those together and can do an Indiana Jones game. You can do Raiders of the Lost Ark, the movie, and do the video game version of that, right? Half scrolling, half above you, half of the little action thing here. You could do time. You could do quick time events or whatever, and just have fun with it. It's Indiana Jones. It doesn't have to be that difficult.
I like how Travis in chat says, a game where Indy isn't in a retirement home.
Yeah. You know how cool he would. Listen, the only Indiana Jones game that I've ever played was on the Atari 2600 that was worth a damn, and it was hard as shit. I could never finish it. I think I finished it one time, and I forgot how I finished it. Right? Because it wasn't like a game you could finish the same way each time. It was like a random thing inside the game that allow you to go to a specific spot in order to win, to get to the arc. Today's graphics, today's world building. You can't make an Indiana Jones game that people want to buy. Something's wrong with you.
I think they will. I think it's Bethesda. So I want to say, I know this is weird, but if Bethesda's making it, do you think they make a game?
Is Bethesda making it?
Yeah, but I believe Bethesda.
It must be a backup game while they're waiting for Elder Scrolls 6.
Is Bethesda Studios making it itself? Yeah, in 2001, Bethesda. Oh, Machine Games announced it's Machine Games with Bethesda. So Bethesda. So it's not Bethesda.
Like Indiana Jones.
It's not Bethesda.
Jones is a no-brainer. My God.
I think they make this game like a Tomb Raider. I mean, that's just it. Which is going to be then compared to Uncharted and Tomb Raider.
You could do the adventures of Indiana Jones leading up to the Ark when he was young, looking for artifacts. Just the male version of Tomb Raider. What a big stretch. Like, we can't do this. Like, he solves puzzles. He goes after artifacts. Like, he has some companions that come with him. Each companion does something different.
I don't think it's hard.
Apparently it is.
No.
It's 2023. Where's the Indiana Jones
game?
Well,
that's what I'm saying. Do you think Indiana Jones, it's too late? Boss even says, new indie movie, very right? Is the game going to be Like, again, we're playing RoboCop. RoboCop's out in 2023. They're making an Indiana Jones game in 2024, 2025.
So you don't see the threat of ideas? You don't see the threat of ideas?
But that's my point. What I'm saying is Indiana Jones a title that will sell in 2025?
If it's a good game, it'll sell decent.
I think it gets compared too much to Uncharted. They'll be like, I'll just go play Uncharted. I'll just go play Tomb Raider.
Yeah, but it's not Indiana Jones. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to sell 40 million copies. It's not going to be a Grand Theft Auto. But if you make a good game, a good adventure action game with puzzle solving, it's Indiana Jones. Yeah, it's going to do well.
I don't know. I think it's got an uphill battle with it because I don't see an Indiana Jones game selling personally. I think that it's that ship has sailed. I think if they came out with this, I mean, look, the last 2 Indiana Jones movies bombed. Crystal Skull and
apparently they
Dial
have
of
money
Destiny.
to burn. Apparently they have money to burn. It doesn't matter, right? They're willing to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on making a movie that bombs on purpose multiple times in a row. You don't think they're going to throw their hat in the ring and put a $50 million or $60 million game out there just to see what happens to that POS? Yeah, they'll do it.
Here's the scenario, Mo. I hear what you're saying. You know, where the hell do you think they got the game? Indy is the original. I get that. Here's the thing. Why didn't Legos build a Lego game like Minecraft? Right? Minecraft came out and made a better Lego game than Lego made a Lego game. Lego made the games that they did, but they never made an open world game until it was too late. Minecraft was already on the market, and then Lego came out with one, and it never even touched it. The Lego universe sucked balls because they're like, man, it's so much easier to build in Minecraft. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter if you were the first in the original origin of Indiana Jones. My point is, Uncharted was lived because of Indiana Jones. Tomb Raider was made because of Indiana Jones. The games were perceived because of the movie, backwards. And now they're making the movie to try the Indiana Jones brand, and it's going to be compared to Uncharted, and it's going to be compared to Tomb Raider, which did it better. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, once again, if you're willing to take the shot, then I hope you do well picking whatever the format is going to be for that game.
Oh, right? Travis, I love the Lego games. The Lego games do very well for what they did. I'm just mind-boggled that... Did you ever play Lego Universe, Sarge? Did you ever play that one? You can't
Lego
build...
Universe? No.
Yeah. Or Lego's World, I think it's called. No. Right? Like, there was two of them. There's Lego's Universe and there's Lego's World. You build with a gun in your hand. Why would I build Legos with a gun in my hand and pick the parts and do all this stuff? Minecraft, you pick a box, you place it down. Right? You just place it down.
Because
right?
They're chasing.
Of course.
Minecraft made so much money that somebody's willing to throw money at the problem and say, we got to do something like Minecraft.
I just hope, because
it's too little too late.
Right. It's way too little too late, right? Because if Indiana Jones comes out and it's just as good as Uncharted, I think that's a loss as well.
Well, you say that about Indiana Jones, but you're happy about RoboCop, which is less popular than Indiana Jones.
No, but I'm not happy about RoboCop. What I'm saying is, at least RoboCop, I mean, it's RoboCop, but Indiana Jones is going to get... What are you comparing RoboCop to?
Nothing. There's nothing like RoboCop. RoboCop's RoboCop.
You know what I mean?
The only thing close to RoboCop would be the Terminator, which came out around the same year.
Which is made by the same company, Terminator Resistance, right? I don't know. I just think it's weird about the Indiana Jones thing. All right, Starfield's out. It's been out for an hour and 11 minutes. Okay, people right now are probably flying ships.
I can't believe there's people in this chat right now. I think the only reason why they're still into this chat is because they're downloading the update. They're downloading the update.
We're on the second screen for sure. All right, so I want to start off with Paul Tassi comes out with an article, and he says Starfield is about to generate the most annoying Xbox PlayStation console war in years. Okay. And he gives, I'm not going to read the article. I'm just going to read his 3 statements that he says here. Okay. One of it is, if Starfield is amazing, okay, PlayStation fans will lament that Microsoft is exercising monopolistic rights to keep away from them, and it will still be discounted and nitpicked as probably not that good and very overrated, right? If Starfield is merely a good game, PlayStation fans will lambaste it for being disappointing and not giving up a slight rated games of Bethesda's past, and Xbox fans will turn to do everything possible to say, no, it's actually amazing and you're all wrong. Or the third option is, if Starfield is bad, PlayStation fans will feast on that for years and claim it spells the doom of Microsoft's first-party ambitions. Xbox fans will say it was a production for years before Microsoft bought it, so it's not their fault, right? So there's the 3 scenarios, Sarge, right? It's either fantastic and PlayStation's like, crying, or it's in the middle and PlayStation's like, ha, 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 and Xbox is like, no, you shut up, it's awesome. Or PlayStation's just laughing, going, I'm glad it's not on PlayStation. And Xbox is like, it's over. The sky is falling, right? And he's not exaggerating. That's basically what's happening right now. Right now, the reviews are out, okay? The reviews are out. And there's a lot of review scores out there, Sarge. A lot of review scores. Let's start with the good ones, okay? Let's start with the good ones.
The shills, and the haters. Let's see which ones are which. Go ahead.
Some of these outlets I haven't even heard of, but it's okay because no one's heard of me either. So Attack of the Fanboy, 100. Destructoid, 100. Game Rant, 100.
Okay. Too much. Too high. The shills are too high. You're too high.
Games Radar Plus, 100. Game Bolt, 100. And Washington Post, 100. CG Magazine, 95. Hobby Consoles, 94. COG Connect, 90. Dual Shockers, 90. Gaming Trend 90. RPG 90. Screen Rant 90. Shack News 90.
More realistic.
Silicon Nera 90. Video Gamer 90. WCC F Tech 90. Windows Central 90. We Got This Covered 90. Vandal 86. Game Informer 85. ZenixVideo.com 85. Multiplayer.it 85. Stiviver 80. The Gamer 80. PC Gamer 75. Digital Trends 70. GameSpot 70. IGN 70. PC Games N 70. PC Mag 70. And then a 58.
They're just trying to bring the average down. They're just trying to bring the average down.
What version did this guy get? That
it's on the S. It's on the S.
The rest of the people didn't. Like, I understand reviews are opinion based, right? You play the game, you like it, you don't type of thing. But if majority's giving it like an 80 plus, right? This one outlet's giving it a 58. Did they get a bad version, or do they just not like Bethesda games?
Well, he used to work for Bethesda, and he has an S, and he had to play it on the S. Look, once again, if there's not a template for reviewing a game, and you just take 15 different attributes, and I'm going to weigh these 15 random attributes, and this is how I'm going to score the game, then those are the kind of scores you get. That's how it works, right? If I get rid of the hundreds, okay, and I get rid of the 58, we're in business.
Right.
That's the average, right? I don't believe in your hundreds. There's no such thing as a perfect game. I'm sorry. There just isn't. There's the best games on the planet since I've been born that have been awesome, amazing games that I would rate it really high, but nothing is perfect. There's no such thing. You strive for perfection. And by the way, it's a good thing, right? Because God forbid, and I'm using this against the journalists that they use this against us. If we were to say that this particular game is 100, then that means everything else has to be compared to this. And if you don't do what this game does, then you don't get 100.
Well,
right? That's how that works. It's called raising the bar, right? That's how it works.
Some people are complaining a little bit, right? And again, keep it in context, right? I just read the 3 things that Paul Tassi said that people would do. And then you see the review scores, and people are like, they're freaking out because of certain scores, right? So IGN gives it a 7. People are like, why? Why a 7? Because the other 3 outlets that IGN has, I think it's IGN Euro, IGN Tokyo, and IGN Australia, all gave it 10s, 9s and 10s, and yet IGN, the USA, gives it a 7, which is just kind of weird, right? Now, again, reviews are just people's opinions, right? This is why I say watch a bunch of different ones. So we read one, and we watched 3. Okay, I think for the most part, we watched the IGN one at 7. There were some things that didn't make sense in his review. Like he said that, well, you run out of storage really quick, and that's a bad negative. And then he says, oh, there's an upgrade. Right. So it's like little things like that. One of the guys that I actually really trust and you could pick who you like. I like ACG. I watch a lot of his reviews, almost all of his reviews, and his reviews are not what he likes or not likes. He tells you what he likes based on the technical aspects of what's happening in the game. He did a very detailed review of other things that nobody else reviewed about, right? He talked about the ships, he talked about the skill tree, he talked about the fighting and experience. IGN said they hated the combat. I watched 5 other reviews, and all the reviews, I watched Kind of Funny, I watched ACG, I watched, who else did I watch? I forget the other 3. I don't know the names off the top of my head. But they all said, oh, combat's amazing. But they also said the combat is amazing for Bethesda games, right? And that's the next type of movement that I want to talk about, Sarge. A lot of people compare this for what's happening with the game, right? They had a tile debate that was happening this week about the game is got borders, and people are going to be pissed off because they're going to hit the boundaries, just randomly hit tiles. Well, boundaries. When I went to Fallout 76, I looked it up. Fallout 76 is 16 by 16. Skyrim is also 17 by 17. Okay, so every time you land your ship in this game, it makes a 16 by 16 square. Okay, just like the entire map of Fallout 76 or the entire map of Skyrim.
I did that earlier today. I started in Markarth.
In Skyrim.
In Skyrim. I started in Markarth, and I ran across the map. I didn't use sprint. I ran across the map. It took me 21 minutes to get from Markarth to Riften. 21 minutes. Now, if I land in the middle of Skyrim,
right
which is roughly
map.
Whiterun, which is basically a Whiterun, that's 10 minutes in each direction.
Right.
If you think that that's not big enough, then you're just looking for a problem.
Well, you have to look at it as also Bethesda, with all the games they've made, they've gotten bigger, a little bit smaller, but when it's smaller, they put other details in there. So like Fallout 4 was smaller, okay? Oh no, actually Fallout 4 was 30 by 30, and they put like building mechanics and stuff inside there as well, right? So they moved up rankings inside Bethesda's created the engine themselves.
The Gamebryo. The advanced Gamebryo.
Right. So obviously I played No Man's Sky. It'll never get old. Taking off from the planet and flying up into space and seeing all the asteroids and the planets and flying around the planet and stuff. I knew last year when they said that, well, there's cutscenes for the ships, and I went, oh, that's gonna get old because there's gonna be a lot of cutscenes, right?
Skip.
Right.
Skip.
You're gonna watch it the first couple times and be like, this is amazing. I'm psyched, and then you'd be like, all right, I'm ready to move on. And I knew.
So you're telling me that the initial time I'm going to play this game, I don't get to sit in the cockpit and start all the engines and activate all the things.
I think
and
there's
like launch off the you don't give me that you don't give me that emotional feeling of trying to take off with the spaceship.
I don't know that for a fact, but I don't think so. Right. So
that's harsh.
I also knew you weren't going to be able to walk from one side of the map to the other because I was like, the load screen when you land, that's it. Okay. So people are upset because they're like, oh, they lied, they said certain things, but if you want to nitpick something, if you listen, yes, if you nitpick on something and you want to look for problems, you're going to find problems, right? I do this with movies all the time. I'm very nitpicky when it comes to movies and stuff. I'm more harder on movies than most people because of what I know about the movie industry, right? So people that play a lot of games, they might feel, entitled, if that's what you want to say, or nitpicky on stuff. But I make a comparison. You can't compare people that compare No Man's Sky. For as far as the resource gathering and stuff like that, you can compare No Man's Sky, right? But No Man's Sky doesn't have a full RPG system inside it with voice acting all across the boards and all of this stuff, okay? What they decided to do was no voiceover, no RPG, no voice acting, and they gave you a fucking planet to go around, okay? So it's seamless around the thing, and that's a big thing that people kind of just throw away because they're just like, it's, who cares if I can go through this? I wanted that for Star Wars Battlefront, right? Back in the day, I wanted to go from the ground up. So I look at this and go, all right, well, what is the benefits of what they did and what they didn't do? And is it worth? And I believe, and I haven't played it, just what I watched. I watched Co Carnage a little bit play it. I watched Dr. Lupo play it a little bit. I watched Your Raptor play it a little bit because I want to see different people playing it, different styles and different things. And every single person that I watched and every single review I saw that watched, they said, this is a great game for Bethesda. And they only compare Bethesda to Bethesda, right? And I know the graphics don't look great to certain people. And they say, well, the models don't look good. But they look great compared to other Bethesda games, right? They've raised the bar. We always talk about raising the bar, right? Kind of Funny Games brought up something where they said that it's mind-boggling to them because of the resources in this game, like the management for your storage and whatnot. They're like, how is this still a thing, right? How are they still making this storage things like this when other games in the industry have moved on and done other things? But it's a Bethesda game, right? It's a Bethesda game. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but they are raising the bar on their own games, right? They're making the worlds bigger. They're making them more interactive. They make them more story-driven. They have over 250,000 dialogues in this game. What other game can say they do that? Maybe Baldur's Gate 3? I don't know. Okay? And then on top of that, the map that you're landing on, every time your ship lands, it's the size of Skyrim. Every single time you land, it's the size of Skyrim. Skyrim has right
4 of them.
Well, that's on. You could do 4, and then it deletes the first one, right?
That's what that means. 4 Skyrims exist.
Yeah, But you can't cross. You can't cross. It's just
I get it.
So what I'm saying is you could only do it once in Skyrim, and that game has been played for 10 years. Over 10 years. Okay? And every time you land your ship on a planet, it's making the map the size of Skyrim. And people are like, oh, it's not a big deal. But it is to Bethesda, right? It is for raising the bar for what they did to the last games to this. Now, obviously, if you compare it to No Man's Sky, it's shambles. If you compare God of War's graphics with the players' graphics to this, it doesn't look as good. But it's good for Bethesda. Todd the Gator, thank you very much. Starfield is too good to be true. Is it too good to be true? I don't know. I'll tell you in about 30 minutes when I jump in and start playing. Thank you very much for the membership, Todd. Appreciate that. Mantis says the problem isn't the size. It's the lack of connectivity. Imagine it that you had to ride a dragon to the new spot every 5 minutes in Skyrim because you hit the boundary. Mantis, Skyrim.
Let me know when you hit the boundary.
Skyrim is 16 by 16 or 17 by 17. Fallout 76 is 16 by 16. You're running across. There's no vehicle to take you there. You're walking just like you do in Skyrim, just like you do in Fallout 76, right? If you went from one side of the map to the other, it would take you 20 minutes if you did nothing. If you did nothing, it's just 20 minutes straight across.
I'll wait for the attention spans and the OCD people who wanted to be busy. Let's not forget the way that Bethesda does things. Let's not forget. They said that when you're walking in their world, and these interviews were done in the past many times. They say that if you walk more than 3 minutes, something happens.
Right.
Somebody's in your view.
Right.
There's a thing that's close by. A thing shows up on the map. You want to go there. Something's always there. So I'm sure when you land on a planet, same type of thing, except it's mineral locations or some kind of life form or whatever else. But for you to walk doing nothing,
Right.
10 minutes in one direction so you can hit the border and bitch about it, doubtful. Doubtful that your brain is going to let you walk 10 minutes in one direction, do nothing, do nothing.
Yeah, I think it's a nothing burger.
You guys are dreaming. You guys are dreaming.
I do. I think it's a nothing burger.
If you want something to complain about, great. We'll wait a month. We'll see what the list of complaints are, and we'll see if running into an invisible wall is one of them.
Like, if nobody did this, right? If no one just ran in a straight line and hit the bottom, if you run in a straight line in any game, let me know when you hit the wall, right? Because every game you're going to hit a wall, except No Man's Sky. You'll run in a circle because it's a planet, and you could just run around the circle, okay? But there's boundaries out in space. You can go past the outer edge of the space, okay? And you hit a wall. The planets just don't get farther away from you. They just stop. It just stops there. It doesn't look like you're...
Listen, I'm not going to say it didn't bother me. Like,
of course.
I know where Morrowind is in Skyrim. I want to go there. The road is there.
I'm just amazed.
The road is there. I go up to the road. I see the horizon. I want to go to Morrowind. It goes, I'm sorry, you can't go there. Yes, it was a deal breaker for me. I'm like, you broke my immersion. But then I remembered, I'm in fucking Skyrim. I'm supposed to be living in Skyrim. That's where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah,
right? Yes, it's going to bother you. But do you think that every time you land, the first thing you're going to do is run fucking 10 minutes so you can bitch about it again? No.
I think the minute possibility of if you're just exploring and you're just going back and forth looking for stuff, maybe you'll forget that you've been out there. The guy said he did it in 40 minutes, meandering back and forth. But then when he ran in a straight line, it was 10 minutes. I just don't think you're going to do it. I think you'll find something or do something and then go, oh, you know what? I'll go back. Unless you're looking for it, I don't think you're going to find it. I don't think you're going to go there.
Especially if you land and after 5 minutes of walking around, there's nothing fucking there.
You're going to go back to your ship.
Fuck this. I'm out. Yeah, right? You're not going to go looking around for the invisible wall. You didn't find anything good to begin with.
Look at this. I go on No Man's Sky. Look at my stream yesterday. I would go to a planet, and if I landed on the planet and got on my ship, I did the thing, shot some things, got back in my ship, and went back to the thing. I probably went 5 feet.
See, bro.
5 feet.
There's
a giant planet that I didn't even touch. Okay? Didn't even touch the whole giant planet that I didn't even touch. I just got a plant, got back in my ship, and then went to a different star galaxy because I'm doing a quest. I don't see this as a problem. I don't.
I'll give it a month, and I'll wait to see what the complaint list is, right? You want to find something to complain about? Listen, For Bethesda, if that's the best you got for complaints, you've never played a Bethesda game. If you think that hitting the invisible wall is a deal breaker for you, then you've never played a Bethesda game, ever.
Right. So here's some pros. Right, here's some pros. Pros: it's an incredibly rich and fresh take on the sci-fi realm. It's got deep lore, consistent backstories, make a lifelike universe. It's got high quality.
That's hard.
It's got high quality, handcrafted story content for quests. Some Bethesda's best environment design work ever. Improved gunplay for spectacular ship combat. Creation engine nails zero-G combat, seamless construction systems, and environmental effects, and single most polished game launch in Bethesda history. A lot of people are saying that very few bugs. ACG said he played for 144 hours, had 8 bugs. And he said 3 glitches, NPCs up on desks and stuff like that. The cons is introducing hours of overwhelmed with reams of systems, quests, and concepts delivered too quickly. So they say that the initial, it's like throws up on you. It's like blah, you're like, I'm overwhelmed type of thing, right? It says uncanny NPCs are too ugly and stiff into 2023 with close-up shots distracting them from great voice acting. So another thing they said was the main characters you interact with, they look good. It's the side quest NPCs like in the background type of thing that when you walk up to, their eyes are like, "Hi, how are you?" They freak you out and stuff. They say they don't have the polish as the other ones, right?
We have mods for that.
Yes. So the next one, it says the UI.
I fix number 26 hotfix. Done deal.
Another con, it says the UI is too minimalistic for its own good, considering the complexity system within. Okay. So a lot of people said that 12 hours in the game, that's when it starts to get good, but you got to put 12 hours into the game. And you'll see this with a lot of
another time limit thing I have to listen to.
Yeah, this is just like anything else. The game doesn't get good until hour 30 or until you're done with the campaign.
What they're not telling you is it takes 12 hours before it gets good, but he spent 4 hours making his character. Right? They don't tell you that part, right? So really, it's only like 5 or 6 hours into the game before it gets good because you spent so much time creating your character, you didn't mention that part of it, right? Who cares? You're playing the game. Whether it takes hour 20 or hour 30, I'm going to be in the game learning shit, figuring stuff out, what weapons work, what skills work with what weapons, what ship is good. Like, if I bog down and make myself all meticulously tediousness and try to figure out some stuff, I'm going to eat up 6 hours, no problem, before I start realizing there are quests that are fun by hour 12, right? Give me some context to work with. You're telling me that the minute you put the power button on and finish hitting the character button, shit's not blowing up and it's supposed to be the most exciting thing ever? You mean to have to take some time for build up before something's fun inside the game? What a fucking surprise.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Travis says, your game is better than your last game. It should be the standard. Well, it is. Every game that Bethesda's made has been better than the last game. They've done different...
Except 76.
Well, no. They still did better
Wasn't
things.
Theirs.
No. Well, no, it was theirs. It was Bethesda.
Theirs.
It was Bethesda. They published it, but they made it multiplayer. That was the thing they did, right?
Okay.
Well, that was above what it wasn't before, which was single player.
Box.
Well, I'm just letting you know.
That box is a little higher. The rest of the boxes are on fire. That box was higher. Yes.
Right. So here's some things that people said. Well, let's look at the reviews. The review.
I'm glad, Mo. You're supposed to be excited about a game that you want to have fun with. That's how it's supposed to work.
Attack of the Fanboy says Starfield is the most potent value proposition for Game Pass, being the killer app for the subscription service. It's also the best, most ambitious game in the Xbox Game Studio library to date. Destructoid says, I wasn't sure if this could be done, but Bethesda has managed to raise the bar. There you go. For the sandbox games, even higher. In the end, Starfield is a genre-defying epic open-world RPG with beautifully immersive universe, captivating story, fun, addictive gameplay, and the whole way. Digital Trend says, thought it was nearly delivered of Bethesda's intergalactic ambitions. Starfield is an impressive space RPG filled with impactful decisions. Forbes says, if you wanted a giant Bethesda RPG set in space with better combat and a whole lot of time to level to build things to explore and find secrets, yeah, this is it. They did it. Enjoy. Game Informer says, go in with expectations that it will take some time to find your footing in such a vast gameplay space, and there's a universe well worth discovering here. Game Rant says, Starfield delivers on everything it promised and then some. In the ultimate sci-fi game, giving players the incomprehensible, massive world to explore and let them play however they want. That's why I always liked about Bethesda games. Like, you can just go off into one corner of the map and explore everything, collect every can or every book or do whatever. GameSpot says, Starfield has the moments for sure. Its satisfying gunplay makes combat exciting, especially when it's integrated into set pieces with its better, more captivating quest lines. And although limited in its conception of space exploration, there's also a novelty of poking around in the galaxy to see star systems up close and personal, and occasionally finding a side content worth chasing. Games Radar says Starfield is expansive and beautiful, crafted open-world experience full of endless discovery and opportunities. Gaming Trend gave it a 90 out of 100 and says Bethesda Game Studios has reached a new heights in Starfield, a thrilling narrative loaded with an entire universe to explore and backed by subliminal polished systems and unrehearsed ultimate Bethesda experience. IGN says Starfield interstellar mystery story eventually pays off, and once the ball got rolling, combat on foot in the space gradually became good enough after finished the main story around 60 hours. PC Gamer says, so, I don't love Starfield, but I'm happy to say that I do like it. Those first 90 hours I played were far from perfect, but I got plenty of reasons to play 90 more. The fact that he said, I don't love Starfield, but he played 90 hours of it. And he's like, I like it, and I'll play another 90 more, which should say something, right? PC Games N says Starfield is a true behemoth of RPG in many ways. It's a logical endpoint for Bethesda Game Studios' well-worn formula. However, its a massive scope pushes this formula to the absolute limit, and cracks begins to show from the features creep to the stop-start nature of the exploration. PC Invasion says, though Starfield's ambitious sci-fi adventure is incredibly fun, beautiful, and nostalgic, it will age like fine wine. There are several fundamental decisions that Bethesda sticks to that make Starfield feel like it's stuck in 2011 for better or worse, right? A lot of people are saying that with the little bugs and glitches that they have, and it's not bugs and glitches like wrecking the game, just quality of life stuff. They said once they implement those, they said this game will be perfect in their eyes, right? Or if it was like a 4, it'll be a 5 type of thing. Polygon says, I'm trying to do everything. Starfield's I can't pronounce that word. Obfuscates its most...
Obfuscates, yes, you're correct.
Obfuscates the most compelling mysteries. The Verge, the latest release from Bethesda, is the games like Fallout and Skyrim, but with a new level of wonder and adventure, the whole lot of polish. What's another one here? Let's go to, do we have another one down here? 4 out of 5. Windows Central says, with incredible writing and slow burn stories, snowball into immense moments and tight RPG, first-person shooter combat thrills in spaceship battles, grounded firefights, and zero-G death ballots. Starfield is a landmark experience with bright future ahead of it, right? So a lot of people are saying, obviously it's a game, it's done, but there's a DLC coming out. There's going to be fixes in quality of life, like I just said. So I don't know, Sarge.
The modders just started, bro. Give them a couple weeks. Like, let them see what's broken. It'll be fixed. Don't worry about it. Just enjoy the game without reading 45 videos telling you how to be a badass on day one. Just enjoy the game. Enjoy the game.
I want to bring up it's not let me see if I have it here. It's nothing spoilish. You know what? I don't even need to show it. It's not something spoilers, but I won't do it anyway because it's just showing the build of the ship. I was going to shut the audio down and just let you see the build. I watched one video. Did you watch that video I sent you, Sarge? The guy just talking about how to piece together the ship and how it works.
Yes.
I was like, man, this is good. Like, while he was telling me like how to put the stuff together, I was daydreaming. I was like, okay, I want to upgrade that. I want to put this on. I want to be a smuggler, so I want to do this. I want to get this. I want to get the upgraded radar detector and the deflection shield and put my guns on the back and the front so I can have right? Like, I'm thinking about, there's like 4 games in one here, right? There's the story of Starfield, okay? And you could just do the main story. There's the exploration of the game, okay? And then you can do the side quests and whatnot. There's the building and maintaining your ship, okay, and just being a pirate out in space. And then there's the building of the bases, okay? They say there's so much going on with just the base building and so much going on with the actual ship that you could get lost for hundreds of hours just in those two things of the game without ever doing anything of the story.
Yeah, and that's why it takes 12 hours for anything fun to happen, because you're too busy building shit.
Right. So my question to you, Sarge, the recipe that Bethesda does, because you're a big fan. You played Oblivion, Morrowind, Skyrim, Fallout 3, Fallout 4. You even played the Fallouts before they even got a hold of them, right? Before 1 and 2 back in the day. Do you feel that this game, do you think Bethesda, obviously they say it's the most polished game as far as bugs go. It's the most polished game ever launched for them. Do you feel that if they just gave you a Skyrim in space, or if they just gave you a Fallout in space, is that enough for you to go, wow, this is a game I can play for years to come?
What you have to understand about Bethesda, first of all, they have a lot of their old team. A lot of the people there have been there the whole time, right? I'm sure they have people going in and out, but the majority of their team is there. A lot of games, when they do improvements, they drop in something else. They try something new and they don't put something else back in. Bethesda over the years has been very meticulous in when they're doing something and they do a mechanic, the mechanic stays in the game, but they improve it, right? Or they change up a little mechanic. They try to improve the mechanic in a different way, but the mechanic stays there. Very rarely do they just get rid of something completely and start completely fresh. So you don't get a lot from one Bethesda game to the lot. You don't get a lot of crazy new shit. You get some new things, but improvements and all the things that they came before it. The one thing that they haven't changed, because they're so used to working with it, and even though it was difficult to work with then, they know how to work with it better now, so they're not going to change the engine. So it's the same engine. You guys are going to see the same things, but they're better at it. And so they decided, this is the route we're going to take. We're going to do these things better. We're going to give a solid 30 frames, even though everyone wants to talk about the frame rate. I don't give a shit, because you don't know the difference.
Yeah. It says solid on both the S and the X. They said it was solid across the board.
Because you don't know the difference, it doesn't matter. And if it does, and if you're playing with migraines, and I guess you're playing with migraines, I doubt you are. Like a small percentage of the people that are, I'm sure. However, that's Bethesda's, that's what they do, right? So am I disappointed that they didn't upgrade their engine? No, because I know that the upgrades and mods they have done with the engine over the years, they know how to work with it. So they're doing the best they can with the new improvements that they have with the team that they have.
Right.
You don't get a completely different game each time, because the same mechanics are in the game, right? They just change it up a little bit and they improve. That's how it's been for years. Look at the difference between 3 and 4 for Fallout 3 and 4. How much change was there really? The core essence of the game was there, but now we build towns, right? And then we had some better weapons. We can mod some weapons, but everything's still the same. Then 76 came out. Same deal, a little less towns, more with the multiplayer thing, a couple little additions, but the core is still there. Yeah, like that's what they do. So now you have a new IP, but you're coming off of Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, and Fallout. Look at the game. First 3-4 hours. Let's see. Character creation, check. More detail, check. Same mechanics, lock picking, same lock picking's in there. Problem with inventory, that's in there. Like the same problem, same things. That's what they do. That's what they do. They're just doing what they do better and trying to improve on certain things. Am I disappointed? No, because I know who the fuck it is. It's Bethesda, right? We're not going from Bethesda to Unreal Engine 5. Like, I know it's Bethesda. I know what I'm looking at. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, no, I think I have my expectations.
No, I know, Mo. I know it upgraded.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it's the same engine.
Yeah, it's an upgraded engine. It's not a different engine. It's just the same engine that they've upgraded to improve it. Yeah. I just want to make sure my game is up to date. Is there an update I think that went through, or is it?
That's all they for the first 20 minutes of the show. Everybody in chat was talking about an update. So go ahead and look. You might want to look.
Yeah, I'm looking because we're going to start. It should start up. I think it updated earlier today. Yeah, I went in with my expectations. I know what a Bethesda game is, right? I know what I expect. And obviously, I was one of the people that when it first showed, I was like, oh, it's going to get compared to No Man's Sky, of course, right? Until I get into the actual game and start playing, and we're talking hours and hours into the game, I can't make that choice if it was a good decision to do the cutscene instead of loading up into space until I get my hands on it. All right, let's go to questions. We got 2 questions so far. If you guys want to ask questions, we got about 15 minutes left in the show. Travis says, not sure if my previous question went through, but do you think there's still a market for twin stick shooters like Weird West and the Ascents, or do you think it's disappeared? I think there's always a market. I love my twin stick shooters. The Ascent was a fantastic game. If no one's ever played, if you guys haven't played that, not that I'm a Game Pass advertiser, but it's on Game Pass if you're on Xbox. And if you're not on Xbox, I would purchase that game. It's a fantastic game. It's called The Ascent. I think they had a DLC for it as well. You played it with us, Sarge. You, me.
Was that the robot?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't it was cyberpunkish. It was cyberpunkish
Yeah.
twin stick shooter. It was fantastic. Yeah, Travis, it's a fantastic game. So do you think it disappears, Sarge, or do you think they make a comeback in some way? I mean, I don't think it makes a comeback, but
I think the issue comes down to the different nuanced genres that we've grown up with over the years don't fit the bill for money-making capability. And so they have to wait some time in between releases of those kind of nuanced genres in order for them to be like something worthwhile and for people to accept them to actually want to buy it. Like a twin stick shooter game is something from the past. They were cool, but no one's coming out with twin stick shooters because you can't capitalize on a twin stick shooter.
Right.
But in between your big releases, if you know how to make a twin stick shooter and then you can pump one out and make it something kind of fun, right? Then yeah. But think of all the little nuance games that we've learned over the years that just don't exist anymore. Like they've all focused onto the same four categories
open
or 5
world,
categories.
like
that's it.
shooters, battle royales. Right. Yeah.
Right. That's where we are because that's where the money's made. So I think there's always a place for those things. But unfortunately now, and maybe at the same time fortunate, is the fact that a game like that would die in the normal market, but a game like that could survive because if you put it on Game Pass or EA Play or PlayStation Now, and it's a game that you scroll through and they just put it as a highlight, hey, remember back in the days of twin stick shooters? This is on Game Pass now, or that's on a new game to try out. Like I see those games still existing in that way, as opposed to trying to sell those nuanced genres today. Not the same.
I think one more out there that could go is a remake. We always talk about Smash TV. Remake Smash TV. That's one of the best twin stick shooters out there. That would be fun to do. Right? But then up it. Make it 4 players instead of 2 players. Right?
And make it instead of the above view, make it where like behind the shoulder, like and you're running around like Transformer Devastation or Transformers game.
But then would that be a twin stick shooter though? Would that be a twin stick shooter?
Well, you have to move around more. You have to keep looking around.
Yeah, it'd be weird though because the camera angle.
It has to get a little bit more difficult, right? Yeah. You have to keep moving around. Look behind you. Look behind me. As opposed to I see everything coming at me, because those kind of games in that format are dated. Smash TV is dated, right? Nobody wants to play that. The genre is fun, but that version of that genre is dated. If you got to up it, you can up it. Listen, if you could take a first-person shooter and turn it into a battle royale, and half the people hate it and half the people love it, but it still sticks around, even though you know it's not that great. If there's an audience for that, then there's probably an audience for twin-stick shooter just done up in the modern time. I'm sure.
Shenanigan says, I'm playing Starfield on PC right now. Graphics are insane and performance is very good. He says that I didn't watch a lot of the gameplay before release, and the graphics took me by surprise. See, it's nice to be surprised when you look at stuff.
Good.
Next question. I can put them actually up on the thing. Let me see. Select question. It says, I get motion sickness. This is from Travis. It says, I get motion sickness when I try to play VR. Do you think that they keep improving and make it one day that it's not an issue, or am I shit out of luck?
That all has to do with how your eyes perceive things. and how the screen you're wearing on your head is perception to your eye, what the distance is, what you're trying to focus on. It's all eye-brain thing, man. It's not just the way the game is made. It's you yourself.
Yeah,
Right?
unfortunately, I think you're stuck. I think you're shit
It's
out of
not
luck.
stuck. I don't think it is. I think it's just the way things are constructed. Listen, in order for them to make VR mass marketable, let's put it this way, right? Nobody fixes something unless they have to, right? If I
Right.
don't have to fix something, I can make
Well,
money. So if I know that the general public, there's a 45% chance that these people can't play for more than an hour at a time because they have headaches, then we're going to design a headset that fits that makes that number go down to 15 or 20% because you want a bigger market to be able to buy your product. This is not rocket science. Eventually they will figure out the helmet or the vision wear that the most people can play.
The only way I see this happening, and we're talking like future, okay? The problem why people get motion sickness and stuff is because you're literally covering up your eyes. You're blocked out from the outside world, right? And you're putting screens this close to your face. Your brain, okay, is literally, your eyes hurt when you're looking at a regular screen, and that's like 6 feet from you or even further back if you watch too much television. When you take lenses and put them directly up to your face, your brain's like just taking that blue light just directly into your face, okay? And your brain's like, where are we? Is this real? What's happening right now? The only way
because it's not used to it.
Right. The only way that stops for people is if they make contact lenses. Hear me out here. Where all of a sudden there is no more headset. Okay? It's just like contact lenses that are showing like AR visual stuff in front of you, and then it's like you're tripping your balls off on some drugs, like really good high quality drugs. Okay? Because your brain needs to see the world, okay? And when you cover it up, your brain's like, what's happening right now, right? And some people can deal with it. Some people can't. Other people, you see people jump through television sets because they think they're like in the actual world. Your brain gets all disoriented with what your eyes are telling you. Your eyes are saying, hey, we're here. And your brain's like, where are we? All right, jump. We're going to die. You know what I mean? And people jump off a building or whatever, right? So I think it's always going to be that way. It's going to be really hard to get the mass markets unless they adjust something completely different. But we're talking massive in the future with the contact lenses and stuff like that, right?
Well, I'm not talking about contact lenses. I'm just talking about trying to get VR to work.
Well, this is why I said AR.
Massive market.
Well, this is why I said AR is going to work before VR. Massive, because your brain's not tricked. It's like, oh, okay, I can see that. I can see the world out there. I know where I'm at.
I still think before VR becomes the thing, and we do live in the Matrix type of deal, that the AR thing where you go someplace to play like a first-person shooter, but actually in like a warehouse or something, and you see stuff that other people don't see.
Right.
Like the advanced version of that. Well, I see that first before VR.
But we did that though. We did the Void.
No, I know that, but I'm talking about being able to move freely, not hooked up. Like just freely move around.
No,
but you were still. I'm talking about moving around full speed, bro. Not walking two steps.
You can't do that.
And 2 steps. Yeah. Yes, you can. Eventually, you will. Yes. Just like when you're a little kid and you ran around thinking dinosaurs were on the block and you were shooting dinosaurs. Same thing, except you have dinosaurs.
They have those booths that you're in where you walk, like you're hooked up by the waist or from above, and people do full-out sprinting and stuff like that. That's there now. But to freely walk in a warehouse, forget that.
AR, yeah.
People would smash into, break teeth and stuff.
The first thing it'd be an arena shooter. It'd be an arena shooter first. That's how they would start.
Yeah, bro, they got the treadmill ones. All right, next question is: do you think we will ever get back to everyone celebrating any game? What as a whole as gamers? I mean, isn't that Baldur's Gate 3?
I mean, if you stop being a shill for these companies and actually wait and let them sweat, then you would be at better games and you guys would all get behind better games.
I mean,
but the fact that we're all trapped in this FOMO thing that everyone has to have stuff immediately, you're not going to be able to collectively be happy about something without somebody shitting on it. Look right now, you have people waiting to play this game,
right?
And right now you have people who are 100%ing it and 58% of the already hating it. They haven't played the whole game.
Well, I think Hogwarts Legacy was one of the games that did it right. I mean, there was a little bit of, from that other stuff that had nothing to do with the game, but I think a lot of people celebrated Hogwarts Legacy. I think we're there. I think we are there, right? Because that was the third-party game that was across all platforms.
Baldur's Gate to win.
Baldur's Gate was another one that's going to be, because it comes out for PlayStation and then comes out for Xbox. So I think we're there. Let me go to the next question. After Starfield, what game will Xbox fans look forward to? This has been a spotlight game for 3+ years, and then the moment after it releases, there's nothing to follow as for now.
It's gonna be a while.
I mean, it's got to be Fable. Fable's the next game for specifically for Microsoft,
and that's gonna be a while.
Yeah, that's specifically for Microsoft. The next big game.
Nothing. I think we talked about this already, bro. I'm pretty sure that this game is probably the biggest game release since Halo.
No, Mo. We're talking. He's asking like next big thing. Like Starfield's been that big game for like it was like Halo, and then it was like Starfield. There's other games you're excited for,
but not
right?
this big.
Yeah, we're talking like big games that are coming out. What's the next big game that's coming out? Mo's just listing games on Game Pass. That's what he's doing right now. Mo eats good. Mo eats good.
He's in traffic, so he can look.
Yeah. So to answer that question, Sarge, I do. I think I said this earlier today. I think Starfield is the biggest. Yeah, but that's not a Xbox exclusive. He's talking about after Starfield. What's the next big game?
It's a first party,
right? First party,
their
big game. Yeah,
like Halo had parties.
I think
Halo released, there was parties.
Well, I think Bethesda
Starfield was just releasing.
Yes, I think Starfield is the biggest game since maybe Halo 2.
Yeah,
in the history of Xbox. I think the next game that comes out that blows this out of the water is Skyrim 6, Elder Scrolls 6.
Right.
That's the next game 5 years from now, 6 years from now.
Fable will be good. Fable's going to be good, but not like the expectation level that this is.
Yeah. I think Elder Scrolls 6 potentially could be that. Can we ask that on the other side? But that's not the question. The question was after Starfield, what's the next thing? Because Starfield has literally sucked up the oxygen out of 3 years, right? Everyone's like, I can't wait for Starfield. I can't wait for Starfield. Here we are. Starfield's here. Now after Starfield, what's the next game that Xbox?
Nothing for a while.
Right? Big game that they're looking for.
Nothing for a while.
All right. Travis says, last question, but reserves. What time is it? All right. Last question, but reserve sides, do you think when Spider-Man 2 is amazing, does Xbox fans act the same way? No, I don't think they do. Nope. I don't think they do because Spider-Man wasn't taken from PlayStation or from Xbox, right? Spider-Man is a PlayStation game where there was a time that Bethesda was going to be on all platforms, but then Microsoft came in and bought it. So you have PlayStation fans that are pissed off because they took a game from them. That's what they think, right? So I don't think it goes the other way because no one on Xbox is going, oh, you took Spider-Man away from us. I mean, Xbox is dumb because they actually got offered first and they turned down Spider-Man, and then Sony picked it up and said, yeah, we'll do it. And they ran with it. So that's what it is. And the very last question, Krebsy says, thoughts on the Space Marine 2 gameplay if you've seen it. This was actually going to be a story. One of the articles we saw said that the gameplay looked rough. I watched the video multiple times before I saw the article. I don't know what the guy's talking about, to be honest.
Define rough.
Yeah, to me, it looked exactly like what Warhammer would look like, right? To me, it looks like a Gears. To me, it looks like that's how you're wearing a 1,000-pound armored suit. Right? They're slow. They're moving. The way he hits the things. I don't know.
You're a juiced up superhuman fighting against xenophobes.
Yeah,
Xenos.
I think it looks great, especially another 3-player co-op. I would have to look more into it. Well, mine's default. I'll answer your question in 1 second, Mo. Well, what do you think about the gameplay, Sarge, about Warhammer?
I need to know the definition of what they're talking about. Like I watched 15 minutes of gameplay. Like I understand what. If he's watching the same thing I saw, there was a couple scenes where like there's too many guys around him. He does a slash move, and after he does a slash move, the guys behind him kind of pause. They don't all just jump on him. right? I'm like, that's normal gaming. Like if everybody surrounded you and jumped on you all at the same time, you'd be dead always.
Right.
Like that's how that works. But you have to understand the whole thing about, first of all, you have to understand about Warhammer, right? And 40K is. And the whole Tyranid thing is they overwhelm you. There's so many of them. The feeling you get is you have no hope. Like there's a giant wall of just claws of death. And so you have Imperial Guard with you that basically take the hits. And like you are part of an elite squad of Marines that are trying to cleanse the world, right? By destroying everything. You have flamethrowers, whatever you got to do to kill them all. Like that's your whole thing. You're not taking prisoners. You're not talking it out. It's just death. So if it's 3 players and you get to combo moves together, and there's a medic and a tech marine and dropping turrets and whatever else, and you feel the weight of your marine slamming through giant Tyranid creatures, that's a win. That's a win. I've been waiting for a game like that forever. Right. That's a win.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
How many combat games where your guy hits the sword, he doesn't quite hit right, and he kind of bounces off the guy, and it kind of doesn't look like it's hitting right. Every game looks like that. I'll look at this game and see what it is. But the way he talks about it, he makes it sound like it's complete and utter trash. And I don't know what he's comparing it to, because I've watched Vermintide, Darktide, Space Marine 1. Like all these games are in the same genre. So I'm curious to know what he's talking about, because the blood and gore is juiced up to 11, right? It's multiplayer, right? It's probably going to be online, right?
Yeah, it's 3-player co-op. We're playing. I'm getting the game.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Right now, if it was on PC, that wasn't what it looks like on console. Okay, let's look at it. Right, when's that coming out? Did they give you a date for that one? No date.
It's this year. I think it might be October, November. I'm not sure.
Well, I guess we're gonna wait.
Yeah. All right. Big Bo asked, what are you guys gonna name your ship? Well, mine's easy. My character's Jack Burton, so it's the U.S. Pork Chop. That's what it is. It's the Pork Chop Express.
Pork Chop Express.
Yeah, it's the Pork Chop Express. That's what my ship's name is.
I don't know.
Do you get to name the ships in the game? Can you name a ship in the game?
I think that how it works for me though is you have to build the ship first, and then the kind of name comes to you. Like I don't have a name in my head. Like you build the ship, and then it kind of manifests itself, and then you name the ship. That's kind of how it works for me.
I have a picture of what I want in my head from the start, right? I gotta make it. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool.
My question is, when you build the ship, quick, when you build the ship, do you actually get to walk around in the ship that you built, the way it's laid out?
Yeah. So this is really cool, right? So if I build a barrack in the ship or whatever it is, right, then it changes the interior of my ship, right? So if I put a extension, then it adds it to the ship. If I put a exercise room in my ship, the exercise room is in the ship. If you put extra guns,
that's a lot of coding. That's a lot of shit inside this game, bro.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. So as you build your ship up, you can add more guns, front-facing guns, side-facing guns, back-facing guns, more fuel tanks. You can put bigger fuel tanks on there. You can put better shields on there, right?
Right. Do you want a bulk freighter, or do you want something more sleek?
And here's the best part. Well, I think it's the best part, right? So you can't just throw everything on your ship. You have to do stuff to go up a class. Right, so you get a B class license, you get a C class license, you could get a bigger shit. Yes,
tonnage, power plants.
Right.
Okay, yeah, you can't just run in there, put a cheat code in, and give yourself the biggest ship. I got it.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. Episode 363 is in the can. We do appreciate you very much for coming out and watching and hanging out with us. The show's over, but I'm not done. I'm going to go take a quick break. I'm going to jump and load in onto Starfield. We're going to create this beginning of the game. We're going to create our character in the game. We're going to put our traits that we went together on earlier in today's show, and then work towards that as I play through the game. I'm not doing the show of Captain's Log. That is a upload that I will be piecing together, and it'll be an upload in a week or two. So I'm doing a lot of recordings and taking the stuff. So I appreciate everyone coming out, hanging out with us, and being a participant. If you'd like to help us out here, hit that like button down below. It helps us out. We're a small channel. We've been doing the podcast. We're here. Where's tried and true, man. We're here Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, episode 363. We're 2 episodes away from you being able to watch all our episodes one day, every day of the year. 365 episodes is approaching us here. Okay, we've been doing this since 2015, and we do appreciate all the support. If you guys want to hit that subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to go above and beyond that, you can become a member as little as $5. Appreciate it very much, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Game on, guys.
They're two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation